All right, so tier list. Let's start with green. I think because this will be the easiest one to organize. Don't you guys agree with that?
Yes.
Yeah, all S tier. They're all really good.
There's
I
no
don't think there.
argument.
Yeah, I don't think there are any tier 0 decks. They have checks, but their ceiling are so high, and it's easy to pilot. It's consistent. It's good. All three.
Now, which one do you think is the best? Because I think we agree that droids are the worst. They're like good into the mirror of green, but like overall they're probably the worst, right?
Agreed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because they lose to the aggro the hardest out of them. So yeah.
Yeah. They're more aggro than
Um,
defense, and I think Gohan is the best at dealing with just the whole meta right now.
I think
Yeah, I
Broly.
think Gohan's.
I think
Oh.
Broly is one of the best because of the 25 baseline. You get to that late game, you start punching them with the 45 Brolys, and it's just like they start losing so many cards in hand they cannot crack back you because you're a 25 base. In my opinion, I think it's better.
If yellow aggro becomes super meta, then Broly would be the best. But as of right now, I think Gohan is the best. The meta seems really wide. Gohan is the most versatile.
Okay.
Agreed.
If you agree on that, then we can leave Gohan
Not,
as
uh,
like this.
not wide, because obviously like green's dominating, but you know what I mean. Like there are three really good colors.
No, I agree. It's just like I don't know. To me, it's weird because I mean, I play Broly. Obviously, you can tell by the way I'm talking about it. So it's weird. Like my mindset is like slam Unga Bunga Broly, punch my opponent, blow up card, draw card, punch my opponent. And when you're killing your energy with Gohan, if you don't have that Goku on the field, then it's like you're not going to be able to consistently drop Broly and use your leader effect at the same time. So it's like that's the only thing that I have an issue with.
You can say the same thing with Broly and drawing cards, though, right?
Well, no. Once you get to 8 energy, you just go slam Broly, burn energy, next turn charge, slam Broly, kill
I'm
energy,
talking
draw
about
card.
before, because you're gonna be forced to awaken earlier. So it's like if you don't have the 5-drop on board, like your hand size is gonna be like dwindling really real hard.
I mean, I think I've. How many draws have I missed at most? Like, it's like one draw that I miss, like, at worst, typically. Like,
Yeah.
there's
but
like
what
the.
there's other aggro. There's decks that can push harder than like say some red decks.
I mean, yeah, I get that. Like, we'll get to some of them, but, like, for example, Ginyu, I know. But, like, late game, it's like, once you simplify the game, like I said, it's really good. But anyway, no. If you guys agree that Gohan's better than Broly overall, we can put Gohan above Broly.
Yeah. But time will tell. We that can change.
All right, so it's just this will be fast. The green ones they stay up here. We'll go to red next. So Zoroku and Starterku. I think they're very similar, but also very different. Kavir, you're more of the red men than we are. We don't really play red like you
Yeah, I've time chambered red. I've had a lot of success early on so far in the game with red. I think both Gokus are A tier. They're very strong and consistent decks. I think Beerus is B tier. The reasoning for this is because both Gokus can push damage into green, and green is the prominent color. Beerus cannot because he doesn't have a pump. He has neg 10 effect, which is good. And if yellow ever becomes more meta and becomes prominent, then Beerus will move up with it. But as of right now, both Gokus deal with green better. Like, I don't care that I can pop Broly. I want to kill them before they get there. Like, Broly already gets so much value on play. So it's like, yeah, I can neg 10 and time skip it, but then what else do I do with my turn? And then they just drop another one next turn.
I can understand that. And I do think that Zoroku's better than Starterku just because it's like it can pump everything rather than just the one thing. Yeah, Starter can do it on either turn, so it's like better defensively than Zoroku is. But I don't know, I just feel like pumping everything is more invaluable than pumping one card.
On paper, yes, but with the way the game is working right now, usually you only have like 1 to 2 bodies anyway, so you don't get that much value with Zoroku. But the reason I like Zoroku a lot is because the cards that you do play to supplement your leader, because you know you want to go a little bit lower to the ground, they're all 10Ks. So I don't know the way I've seen other people build Zoroku, I disagree with completely. Like I play a million 10Ks and I really push damage. Like I combo to efficient numbers, and I abuse 5-drop Goku as well as I can. And that turn 2 to 3 where you have multiple bodies, that's the ceiling of Zoroku. But then past that, it's just like 5-drop slam. So offensively, it's like Starterku and him, they're both 40Ks. So to me, the difference with the decks are you have more 10Ks and you're able to push more, and your turn 2 to 3 is more aggressive. But Starterku is more efficient throughout the course of the game, and it's a little bit more mid-rangey. So both are good. I think Zoroku's a little bit better, but it depends on how you play it and build it.
I think a lot of good points for both decks. Yeah.
Probably later on, these will 100% switch. Like, Stardeku will be better than Zoroku because once we get more good red cards, like we got a bunch of U6 cards this set. So if like in next set we get a bunch of other good U6 cards that play well with these cards, Stardeku is going to be better because obviously Zoroku can't pump them.
Yeah.
Well, one card I think that Stardeku really abuses well is the promo, the Goku that's a 25k, because you can make it a 30k, which is actually really strong because that means you're playing tapping 2 for a 30k, which forces either one super combo or 2 cards.
Are you talking about the one that's like when you're awakened it's +5?
Yeah, because it's 25k
it's...
base, and then you can make it 30 with Stardeku.
Yeah, that card's nuts in Stardeku. Stardeku abuses Batama and hit better, but it's just like that's what I'm saying. Like they'll put 4-drop Gohan. These cards are 5k, so it's like really hard to like combo. Like the way I play Zoroku is like I kind of go down deliberately, and I play like a book of 10ks, and like I just get a fat horde in my hand, like kind of similar to like how Edward Nugget was played in One Piece, and I just push efficiently.
So we can simplify that. Now we're getting to the more complicated one, Captain Ginyu. So there are cult followers of this deck that swear it is the bee's knees. I think it belongs in C tier personally. I know Chris doesn't agree with that.
No, I begrudgingly agree.
Okay. He's leaned our way. So my issue with the deck is that it has an I lose button in the meta in Frost with red, and it struggles hard into Broly, which is like, oh, cool. So I have an I lose button to all 3 of these decks, which are arguably very good, and then I have an I lose button really to Broly because he's 25 baseline, and when he, STRs the board, it's going to be really hard to build a whole board back. Like, yeah, the Bond to the Ginyu Force, I think it's the extra card. It's amazing. Can pump your numbers really high, but if a Broly player has a gigantic meteor and like a 10k, they typically get out of it. And it's just like, it's not enough.
Especially Broly.
Yeah.
Like being base 50 with just 1 card, like...
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And it's like, yeah, you can Death Beam it, but that means you're going to have to play Crusher Ball before that. And that means you've used 2 energy. Now you have 2 energy left. What are you going to do? Tap 2 to play a Ginyu, untap 2, and then play like a Birder or play a Jace? Like, cool, you have 2 bodies. You used like your whole turn out the Frost. You know what your opponent's going to do next turn? They're going to play a Frost.
Yeah, exactly. Like, my take on Ginyu is like, versus the 20k base greens is really good, but because it loses hard into Frost, and red is a really relevant color in my opinion, as well as Broly being a relevant leader, you can't really put it higher than C. It loses too hard to Frost and loses too hard to Broly. I think if you're going to play Ginyu, you might as well just play Cooler, which we'll get to.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a moment. But yeah, I do think that this deck bullies androids and Gohan. I really do think it bullies those decks.
Yeah, it bullies those, but it's just so rough for it. Like, it's so rough for it. The checks are so bad.
Yeah, I hate that set 1 has a floodgate. I'll be quite honest. I really do hate it.
I mean, I think it was needed, because if Frost didn't exist, Ginyu would be running everywhere.
Dude, the only deck that would counter it would be Broly. Like, really think about that.
That would actually be insane, yeah.
Ginyu shoots it from C to S, like...
No, I get you. Okay, so we'll jump to the next one, which is Frieza. I'm pressed to put it into S tier. I've told you guys this before. I think it's really good, but you both think it's A tier, correct?
Yeah, because it's so... It deserves A. It has probably one of the most broken leader effects out of all the set 1 decks. Being able to resend 2 cards is insane.
No, the resend 2 is invaluable because it just stops your opponent from being able to attack them. They have to now use card effects to out those guys instead of just punching them like normal.
Yeah, like Frieza's the most generic yellow leader. It's the most toolboxy. It's really good, really consistent. It's strong. You can take it to an event and win with it. My issue with it is like it can't pressure green the way like his brother does. You know, you can't pressure green, and so like you can pressure green, but not as hard. And so like you could have a worse matchup into what is the most prominent color, and you go 50-50 into red, like it's fine. But like it's a very strong deck. I think it's good. I just don't think it has the ceiling to be put into S.
Yeah, I do like that you have the option between Death Ball and what's the Supernova? Is that what it's called? The cooler one?
Yeah.
The
For your
20k,
yeah, for your IARs, you have your idea. Like you can choose between them. You can go, do I want to go higher and push harder because now it's a super combo and a 5k for them now combo it, or do I want to stick with death balls for the defense and rest stuff? So you do have good options with that. Now, would you put this leader above like these red leaders or below the red leaders?
I'd put them above.
Damn, that's a tough. I'll put them below, but that could be my bias.
Yeah, it's like because I think the red decks do such a good job, and so does Frieza. And I think it does good. Like red has a pretty good match on a yellow, but it just feels good, so good overall. Like it's such a good toolbox deck.
I think statistically right now Frieza's more successful, so I guess we just put it higher. But I think they're all around just as well good as each other.
Okay, there we could say like
I generally don't think people are building Zoraku correctly, so.
yeah, we could. I mean, half the list we see have no super combos, but we're not gonna get into that.
Whoa.
And
10Ks, like bro.
10Ks, a bunch of extra cards, a bunch of
yeah, like.
Okay, that's a different video.
Oh man, yeah, different video. We're talking about too much fire.
So we'll leave this here, but we all know. Well, you guys do. I don't think he goes there, but you guys want to put Cooler above all of the other stuff in 8 tier.
I want to put Cooler in S. You guys will not agree with that,
Yeah,
but
he's the best
think
A
this
deck.
deck. I think this deck is stupid. I
don't think it goes there. I think it goes in B. Chris is
my
agreeing
eyes
on
were
A.
awakened.
I think you're trolling for thinking it's B.
Yeah, you need to have your eyes opened.
I think you need to get over the fact that you discard, bro. Like, the effect is so good. And his type of aggro is so versatile because you can pivot into tall attacks. So you don't get cucked by Frost the way Ginyu does, but you can still go wide just like Ginyu. And you're less prone to removal because you could just play a Frieza, swing twice, swing 3 times even, and be okay. You could abuse Cooler as well. Restanding stuff for people who used to play Masters. Restanding anything. Like, you can restand, you can pivot and restand energy too. Like, the deck is really good. I think obviously it has a problem because as you get later into the game, yes, you do have a low hand size, but you're also pressuring your opponent so much to where they have to defend out and they will have a low hand size. I think the deck's really good. I want to put it in S, but A is fine. Top of A is fine.
Yeah, I think it's the best A deck. And you know what? It could totally be S later. We can see some tournaments.
It checks your green so well, dude.
Exactly, and in my opinion, that's very important right now in this meta.
I don't know.
You need to know what you're doing with the deck, but once you learn it.
I don't know. Again, maybe it's because I play Broly that I don't see it the same way. Because like, I've had people play that 4-drop Frieza that's a 40k, and they'll go like punch leader, I'll go super combo, and I'm out of it. And then they'll go discard 1, restand, go, and then I'm like super combo, I'm out of it. And now they'll go body swap, and they'll swing again, and then it's like, okay, I'll take the 1 hit now. So it's like, I don't know, maybe it's biased because I play Broly, and I'm just so accustomed to that extra 5k that I sit across from Cooler, and I'm like, it's not that insane. It's good, don't get me wrong, but I mean, you're talking about it like it's the next savior of the game.
Don't worry,
I'm
you will
saying
have
it's
your
S
eyes
tier with the
open.
green deck. It just checks the green decks really well. I think it also does like fine enough into Broly. Yeah, Broly, the extra 5k stat line helps it obviously, but I mean, like, I think Cooler like is just the best aggro deck.
Okay, that's fine.
I agree.
So we'll move on. Oh, this was supposed to be something else, so we'll go Goku Black.
Because it's the
You gotta-
best deck.
Yeah, we got it. Yeah.
We gotta save it for last. You know,
Okay, do we really have to talk? The deck is poo-poo. Like, there's a loop going around with Hope / that if it high rolls, it's good, but it happens like once every 10 games. Like, it's trash. Okay, like, don't play this deck if you're trying to. That's
Yeah, sorry, Chris.
This archetype was not made with a lot of care. It was made to be made.
So just to run over like the basics for it, its archetype is really weird because the Zamasus are like 5k, a 10k, and like a 15k vanilla, and those cards are supposed to stick around on the board somehow for you to bottom deck them on turn 4 so that you can play your 6-drop on turn 4, and that's just unrealistic in my opinion because if like let's say green decides to go second and they play out that Vegeta that just blows up a 2-cost, or Beerus awakens and just negs it to death, or yellow goes Death Beam and kills it after they've rested it with like their 2-drop Frieza. Like, there's so many things that just kill it it's not worth it. Like, you're supposed to be bottom decking these, and then the things are counterintuitive because you also need, like, one of those Masus needs a black to be a blocker, but you gotta bottom deck it in order to make your blacks cheaper. Doesn't make sense.
And instead of giving them good Zamasus, they decided to make one of the worst 2-drop cards I've ever read. That 2-drop Gowasu. Man, they had to meet a quota to make it, I swear, because that card does not at all fit in Goku Black's deck.
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get how they go from making a boss card like Broly and making a deck that flows like Broly to making a deck like Goku Black.
Really, there were some errors going around in that design room. And you know what? I hate to see it.
Now, we can go to Vegeta. So, this one's weird, right? We'll do Trunks first, actually, because it'll make Vegeta will make more sense when we get to it. So, Trunks, I think we all agreed, goes in Blue, right?
Yeah, it's a good deck that can do nutty things, but Blue just has a problem right now with good battle cards attackers. But like, and it can't handle green at all. Blue Trunks, like it's a good deck. I think next set he's gonna get really well. He's gonna get really good in my opinion. But
well, we have to see
missing
the
a
blue
battle card
cards,
attacker.
but yeah, we have to see the blue cards because
yeah, I think they'll
issue
get
is
a battle card attacker.
I
Yeah.
believe the same thing. I think Blue will get much better in set 2.
It's just like I want Blue to be good. I even got myself an altar later for this guy. Like I want this guy to be good. The issue is that the battle cards don't do anything. Like you guys are saying, like you can't out anything above 6, which is foolish. Because once green starts slamming Droid Duo, SCR, Broly 8-drop, or even the Life Reju Gohan, you can't out them. You have to punch them and just start giving them cards in order to attempt to out it. And it's not worth it. Like, yeah, you can call me a crybaby. Final Flash outing a 5 cost for potentially 1 energy or 2 energy on an extra card is ridiculous when the 5-drop Vegeta only hits a 4 cost. But then you have the 3 cost Trunks that goes to the deck that hits a 5 cost. Like, why does the 5 cost Vegeta not hit a 6?
Double,
That's I don't think that's valid still. It needs to,
you want 5 drops of Vegeta to hit a 6? That's
yes,
insane.
Blue can't out
That is
anything
insane.
that high now.
No, 6 is insane. I think hitting a 4, maybe you could argue hit a 5. I think hitting a 4 is fine for what the card being a 35 double strike. I think the issue with Blue is just having more cards that do stuff.
I think hitting a 4 is just bad. I think hitting a 5 is where it minimum needed to be.
I think hitting a 4 is fine because it's a 5, so you're just removing the card that your opponent played on curve the turn prior to you.
Cool, but what doesn't make sense is that you have the 3-drop Trunks, which removes a 5 cost.
Yeah, but it's not bottom decking, it's bouncing it to hand, and it also doesn't have the stat line of the Vegeta, right?
I guess. But, okay, so, whatever. I digress. This is a tier list, not an argument of whether or not Vegeta's good. Now we'll actually talk about the Vegeta leader. So, this one's weird, because, like, we don't think it's as bad as Ginyu is, but we don't think it's anywhere near as good as these two are. Because, like, the leader effect with Trunks is way more invaluable than just being a 35 base. Like, yeah, 35 baseline, you can punch the green leaders, including Broly, and they've now got to give you cards to defend. But being able to bounce anything with Trunks is insane. Like, your opponent taps 3 for, say, a critical Beerus in red. You just go, okay, put it back in your hand. Like, yeah, it didn't kill it, but you got rid of it. They have to tap for it again. Now, the issue with Vegeta is, like, yeah, you're 35, but what blue cards are you punching them with? Like, are you tapping 3 for that 3-drop Gohan? Cool, you have 7 or less cards in your hand. You're going to lose to Broly punching you in the face. Like, I think this goes in C, sadly. I don't think it belongs in B, because the leader effect is not as good as where Trunks is.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think the deck isn't terrible, but like, yeah, it's just like your 35 base, you only have 7 cards in hand. Like, you lose to green. It doesn't abuse the blue cards the way Trunks abuses it. Like, I don't know, like Blue does some nutty things. It's just missing good battle cards. Dude. As soon as it gets like some good battle cards, the color's gonna be cracked. But like,
No, yeah.
So much potential. Pilaf is literally carrying that entire color right now.
I think Pilaf is like low key. Pilaf is such a dumb card, dude. But,
No, I agree, because it's like with Trunks though, you can go like, what is it? You can go. Let's say the previous turn you attacked with the 2-drop Trunks. That's another issue. Like the 2-drop Trunks is like the best attacker for the color, but it removes itself. Like I get the point of it, but like now your opponent doesn't have to worry about it. But like let's say you go and you have one of them at the bottom of the deck, you can go like Peel Off, grab back your Time Machine from the drop area, leader effect, bounce Peel Off, activate Time Machine, play your guy, play Peel Off, grab Final Hope Slash. Now you've got a 40k swing going at your opponent. Plus you can combo the Peel Off and make it 50. So like Peel Off, like you said, is carrying the color. Being able to just grab back anything and everything you need, even grabbing a Pan to further cycle and find other stuff that you need, or just grabbing the Cantrip Trunks back so you can play it and draw another card. You know, things like that. It's just Trunks abuses that stuff way better than Vegeta does.
And that's why it deserves its placement, because if you want to abuse blue cards, just play Trunks.
Yeah, so this is the tier list that we think. The green leaders, like we said, these two are interchangeable. They can be anywhere. This one's definitely the worst one from what we've said. It's the best into the other green decks, but these green decks play the best into everything else. Cooler's apparently the best A-tier deck, with these 3 interchangeable. So like you could have this here, this here, this here, this here. Like it could be whatever, right? These 3 are interchangeable. I think Beerus is just better than Trunks personally, so this will sit like this. Do you guys agree with that?
Yeah, I mean it's right. It just has overall a better card pool right now.
Yeah.
I agreed.
And then the only reason that I say Vegeta's above Ginyu, because I would put Ginyu above Vegeta, but the only reason I say Vegeta's above Ginyu is because, like we said, Vegeta can't, like we said with Vegeta maybe can't abuse the blue cards as well, but with this deck just having I lose buttons into red and then not being able to deal with Broly too well, it just has to be lower because of it. And then Goku Black's Goku Black.
Yeah, best deck of the game.
Best deck in the game.
Best deck of all time.
I want all the people watching to roast Alex for thinking Cooler's bad, please.
Yeah,
Listen,
if you have anything you want to call us idiots for saying something, you think Genyu's S tier and you think it goes to the top of S tier, you know, you can go ahead in the comments, let us know.
If you think Goku Black's S tier, please, I need to see that list.
And make sure to send him a list with no super combos so that I can just destroy him with Broly, please. Alright, but yep, that's all. Hope you all have a wonderful day.